Oh, this man's a master. A local high tea experience. Yeah, look at this view. Look at that photo shoot over there.
There you go. Being sure to help sometimes when these things. Oh, she's trying to get them others already. People mostly seem to want to re-guard these days, right? But it's actually much better if you can reverse or escape or stand up. Think about like Jiu Jitsu as a ladder, right? We've both got our ladders. So if Dao is on my back, he's on the top rung of his ladder, and I'm on the bottom rung of mine. If it's the opposite way, it's like that, right? If I only get back to my guard, I only do this in terms of closing the gap with who's got the better position. If I can escape side control and take their back, then I've really flipped the ladder on its head, right? So the most effective techniques in Jiu Jitsu are the ones where you with the least movement, you move the most rungs up your ladder. Okay, so that's the way I conceptualize it. I've blocked this one, and I've won this one. I've come round to here, and they're going to try and force me back down to the mat. So before you know what's happened to you, you're on the bottom, okay? But why do I like to cut the knee? Here, so smash me. Because I can turn his hips away, okay? This kind of side is very dominant. It's on its way to a back take, and he really doesn't have much. This is call mother position, right? He's really in trouble. He can't re-guard. I've got control of him, I've turned him the wrong way, and I'm really in a dominant top position. Onto your elbow, Chris. Up onto your elbow. Now Mike is going to smash you back down. Reach, tuck his knee, and just roll up and lock. Roll like a lock. There you go. Smash it back down. So then here, come up here. I come up to my knees, but instead of wrestling up, they're trying to keep me low, okay? They're trying to stop me from getting up. Rather than flowing with it, like probably the higher level person would, they'd admit temporary defeat and reset to the feet. They're gonna stay down here. So what I'm gonna do now is work on the back to them. This is why my underhook now is important, okay? I've got to have a nice underhook here. So if he's staying down, maybe we're a bit further down, drops you down, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to shrug my shoulder, okay? I'm going to play a game of shot put with my opponent. I'm going to shrug and throw that forward, okay? Then I'm going to come in, take my over under, and I'm going to start working on a back take. nicely done, Mike. Nicely done. Nicely again. Wait.
Sorry about that. Now, good meeting you. Nice rolling with you. You're gonna be in the vlog. Give me your socials, Leo. Nice rolling with you, my friend, my wrestler friend. This dude, look at his body. He's only 16 years old, man. This guy's built like a grown man. Picking on the senior citizens over here. Hey guys, back here home in the Philippines, here in Tagaytay. The weather is fantastic, which is amazing considering there's been, monsoons, typhoons, whatever you want to call it, the past few weeks. So, yeah, sunny weather's fantastic. Anyway, I'm not the weatherman. I don't know why I'm updating you guys on that. So, our experience training over at Monarchy MMA, man, the thing is, we really underestimated the lunchtime traffic on a Friday. We barely made it to class. Class started at 12:30. And we got there right at 12:30. So David, the instructor, was kind enough to still, allow us to come in. And one thing I will have to say, I should have anticipated this before, but if you're traveling and you're looking to do some jiu-jitsu during your travels, I do not recommend doing a lunchtime class because, for a few reasons. One, there's just going to be less people attending, right? And as we all know, if you do jiu-jitsu, the more people, the more fun it is, the more the merrier, right? The more people you have to roll with. And, expectedly for a lunchtime class, people are just squeezing it in either before, their classes if they're in college or squeezing it in during their lunchtime break from work. So there's just going to be a lot less people going to class. And two, related to that too is, people are going to be looking to get back to work or to class right afterwards. So it's not really going to be sticking around. It's really going to end right when they say that it ends. So, they got to close up the gym, right on time real quick. So it kind of puts you in this rush afterwards. You don't really have a chance to get too many extra rolls in. You got to rush that shower. So, yeah, I really should have thought about that. It's really quite common sense if you go to a lunchtime class, but we were just so focused. Well, anyway, I was just so focused on trying to get that second jiu-jitsu class in during our stay there in Kuala Lumpur that I just wasn't even thinking about it. So yeah, there you go. Don't recommend lunchtime classes during your travels if you're trying to squeeze one in. But overall, it was a good class. There was only four of us, and one guy there, Leo, was only his second class. So we went over some, really basic stuff, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's always good to go over some basics, go over some fundamental concepts. So you see, we went over a few basic side control escapes and even a sweep from side control. They tried to find you out. I won't go over the technical details. You see it in the video there. Overall, our experience there is, it's a great, great venue. Lots of rolling space. Doesn't get too hot at all. Have multiple showers. I mean, having a shower at your gym, my opinion, it's essential. You need that shower after class. What else can I say about Monarchy MMA? It's actually a great location. Just downstairs from it, lots of dining options, convenience stores, coffee shops, a really nice area. So, yeah, that's always nice to have as well in your location. Instruction by David, very good. A lot of reps in terms of the technical drills, in terms of positional sparring. He really squeezed in a lot of work in that 1 hour class during lunchtime break. We got, I think, a total of 4 rounds in. There was one 3-minute round at the end of class there. Then afterwards, he left it up to us if he wanted to squeeze some more rolls in. So yeah, thanks to Dal and Leo for being willing to get some more rolls in there. So yeah, it's a total of 4 rolls in. In terms of the overall experience, I have to say, I really, you seen in the video there, I probably should have taken it a little bit easier on Leo, considering it was his second class. But the thing is, you know, this guy had a wrestling background, and he's a 16-year-old stud. He's 16 years old, but he's built like a grown man. So I mean, that's kind of the reason why I didn't take it incredibly easy on him. But yes, Leo, when we were doing stand up, I definitely felt that wrestling background of his and the strength he was able to take me down. I was able to take him down as well, but I just kind of made me forget that it was his second class because he knew how to really handle himself because of his wrestling background. Although not so much once it did get to the ground. So Leo, if you're watching this, I apologize, buddy. I should have taken it a little bit easier on you. And then Dow's a blue belt, so anything goes. We take it fairly light. I mean, that's one thing I will say is if you're traveling and you're doing jiu-jitsu, don't go out on the mats trying to kill people, You're the visitor, you're the guest. Try to make some friends, don't go so hard. Go for clean entries, but don't be so malicious about trying to get that finish. You're the guest, try to make some friends there. I guess overall, one thing I will say about my experience there in Kuala Lumpur, not just related to training, is if you're gonna go around and try to hit these jiu-jitsu gyms, you pretty much have to take Grab, or what I would recommend is a local version of Grab called Bolt, B-O-L-T. Bolt is gonna be much, much cheaper within the city limits of Kuala Lumpur. For instance, we ended up taking Grab because we didn't look into Bolt yet to Monarchy MMA during that Friday lunchtime rush, and it took 30 ringgit. That's for because amounts to what should have been a 10-15 minute drive. 30 ringgit. It's pretty pricey. And then on our way back, we decided to look up Bolt and say that it was only 10 ringgit. So you see only 1/3 the price. So I would recommend using Bolt. Grab if you're desperate. If you're nasty, call me Miss Jackson. Comment down below if you know what I'm referencing there, what song I'm although technically speaking, call me Miss Jackson if you're nasty is the correct lyrics there. Anyway, I'm getting off point. I recommend taking a rideshare service because public transportation in Kuala Lumpur is just not a feasible option at all. Apparently, culturally speaking, they don't believe in straight paths over straight lines. Probably has to do with some sort of, woo-woo feng shui kind of thing, life energy. So all the routes are very circuitous, and this includes the trains and the buses. So what would be a 10-15 minute drive ends up being an hour and a half via public transportation. So it's not feasible at all. Anyway, if you're interested in training at Monarchy MMA, they have several branches. It's 80 ringgit for a drop-in session. And that will do it for this travel jiu-jitsu, the travel jits vlog. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a huge honor for me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you in the next video.
Contemplating all of my goals. Will I fold or will I chase them?